Welcome learners to an important session dealing with one of the designs of curriculum. We have various designs of curriculum, various models of curriculum, and also each model is unique in itself. So today in this lecture we will be discussing about one of the models of curriculum, that is administrative model. So let's moving on to the slides. Administrative model. From the term administrative model itself, we are coming across a particular word. Of course, it is administration, isn't it? So, and this word has a lot to do with the explanation with regard to administrative model. We can say that in this model, in this design, what to teach, how to teach, and also who should be taught or who should teach. All these things are decided by the administrators or those who are in the higher positions. These people will decide the complete structure of the curriculum. And that is why administrative model is also known as a top-down manner. Top-down. That means those who are on the top, that is the administrators or the people in the higher positions, they will make the decisions with regarding the designing, development and also the implementation of the curriculum. And that is why it is known as a top-down manner. I hope it is clear. But that doesn't mean that those who are working under the administrators like teachers, the non-teaching or the assistants, they do not have any work. They have work, which means that the remaining steps are being completed by those who are working under the administrators or those who are working under the people in the higher positions. We can say that this model, that is administrative model, is employed frequently in public schools and also it is being aligned to certain factors like efficiency, standardization and also centralized control. Standardization, they are first standardizing the curriculum. They are going for the pilot study and then they are implementing it, rectifying the errors and then finally they are implementing after completely recovering from all the errors and all the pitfalls. And also it is centralized control, which means that decentralization is not taking place over here. There are a few people on which the control is vested. Of course, they are the administrators. We can also say that it is mainly used in public schools also. So that is a general concept with regard to administrative model. So it is a top-down process and the major decisions with regard to the model is being taken by the people in the higher positions or the administrators. I hope it is clear to you. Now let's move on to certain features of this particular model. The first 2 points we have already discussed, that is it is a top-down approach, of course, and also the educational officials and the administrators. The main planning is done by the educational officials and also the administrators. Next point I would like to discuss is that sometimes we cannot say that it is a demerit, it is a challenging task with regard to administrative model. And what is that? Sometimes it may not be beneficial because those people who are preparing the curriculum, that means the people in the higher position, they may not be aware about the actual problems. Why? Because we can say that proper need analysis is not being taking place when we are formulating the goals or the objectives of the curriculum. So sometimes it can be challenging that the actual problems may not be addressed over here. And that is why we can say that it is different from grassroots approach. In the grassroots approach, it is a bottom-top approach. Administrative model is top to bottom and grassroots approach is just the opposite. It is the bottom to the top approach. In that, first need analysis is being taking place and the aspirations, experiences and the perceptions of the teachers are being considered in the beginning. And also all the stakeholders of the community, including the community members, their opinions are also taken into consideration while preparing the curriculum. So that is why it is known as it is a bottom-top approach. But here it is not like that in the administrative model. That is why we can say that it is different from the grassroots approach. And also in the administrative model, the main focus, what is the main focus? That we are ensuring consistency. And also it is aligned with the organization and also the national education goals and standards. Certain goals and standards are already being set. National level also and also at the state level also. So this curriculum is trying to follow the already set guidelines and also the principles. So that is also, that is why we can say that it is aligned with the national or the state educational goals and standards. Further, moving on to the next feature, if there is any kind of changes or modifications that we want to take in this curriculum, those changes and modifications are done by arranging certain meetings. They used to conduct meetings frequently in order to analyze the curriculum, so that if we want to make any sort of changes or any modifications in the curriculum. So that is about the features of this particular curriculum. Okay. I hope you understood the features. Now let's move on to the various steps. Steps in preparing the curriculum with respect to administrative design or administrative model. What are the different steps? Just like I already told you, if we want to make any changes in the curriculum, they used to give importance to committees or they forms committees. Just like that, here also, if we want to prepare a curriculum that is based on administrative model or design, we are forming committee. And the first major committee or the topmost committee is known as the steering committee. And the steering committee is having certain experts, teachers, officers, academicians and other experts from the universities also. So that is a group of people who are experts in this particular field. So such a committee is being formed and this committee is having certain duties or certain responsibilities, we can say that, certain functions of this committee. Usually the foremost function of this committee is to prepare a general plan, general outcomes, general design, general objectives, what will be the output. The major draft of the committee or the major plan of the committee is being done by the steering committee. Also, they are trying to make training. Once the curriculum is being prepared, teachers will be unfamiliar with that particular curriculum. So we have to give training for the teachers in order to get familiarized with the curriculum so that they can carry on the curriculum properly. That is also done by the steering committee. Also, steering committee is making certain subcommittees also. And one of the subcommittees is the advisory committee. the general principles, general objectives when it is prepared by the steering committee. The duty of the advisory committee is to prepare the specific principles, specific plans and also specific objectives. So that is the duty of the one of the subcommittees, that is advisory committee. Apart from the advisory committee, steering committee also has another subcommittee, that is what known as the production committee. And the production committee is mainly comprised of teachers. And what is the duty of the production committee? Production committee, their main duty is to work on objectives, methods of teaching and also materials. What are the different kinds of or different types of methods that we have to use in the curriculum? Or what kind of learning experiences should be provided to the students? What are the different curricular and the co-curricular aspects that should be covered? That all is being decided by the production committee. And also we have production committee at different levels: primary level, pre-primary level, secondary level or high secondary level. We have different committees in comprising the production committee. So we cannot say that one production committee is for the whole levels of education. No, we are forming different committees for different levels like primary, secondary and also high secondary. And we have already talked about two subcommittees of the steering committee, that is one is advisory committee and the other one is the production committee. And once the curriculum is being prepared, that means the draft of the curriculum is being prepared, this curriculum is reviewed by the steering committee. The steering committee reviews this curriculum, review it. They look into this curriculum once again. And after that, the curriculum is being tried, or otherwise we can say that a pilot study of the curriculum is being conducted. And in order to conduct this pilot study, another subcommittee is being made. And that subcommittee is known as the installation committee. It is the installation committee that is conducting the pilot study of the curriculum. And after the pilot study of the curriculum is being conducted, feedback, or otherwise we can say that the evaluation of the curriculum is being done. And how the evaluation is being done? We used to collect the feedback by discussions and also by visiting the classrooms, and also with the help of certain tools and techniques like observations, using surveys, with the help of certain questionnaires also, we are evaluating the curriculum and we are taking the feedback and analyzing whether any faults are there, or is there any problem, or are there any challenges in implementing the curriculum. We are analyzing each and every aspects. That means the steering committee is analyzing each and every aspects, and almost all the faults and almost with respect to the feedback, all the fault and all the pitfalls are being removed, and finally it is revised. Revisions are made wherever necessary, it is being revised, and finally it is being implemented. So these are the major steps in the with respect to administrative model of curriculum, starting from the steering committee and having different subcommittees, and I hope it is clear to you. So after going through the steps of administrative model or administrative design, we are moving on to one of the type of curriculum that we made through, or we can say that it is usually an administrative model, and that is what known as the Saylor and Alexander model of curriculum. Saylor and Alexander used administrative approach to curriculum development. So administrative approach was used by Saylor and Alexander model. So usually we used to say that when we talk about or when we hear about Saylor and Alexander model, we used to say that administrative model is Saylor and Alexander model, or Saylor and Alexander model is the administrative model or design of curriculum. So they have different perception, or they have a unique perception with regard to curriculum. According to them, they viewed curriculum as a plan. Plan for what? It is a plan for providing sets of learning opportunities. We are providing learning opportunities through the curriculum. So, curriculum is a plan. Through that plan, we are providing learning opportunities. We are giving them chances. Why? Why we are giving them chances? To achieve broad educational goals and related specific objectives. We have broad educational goals. It is not easy to define the goals of education. It is very broad. We have to think in a divergent perspective when we are coming across the goals of education or the goals of curriculum. So that is why curriculum is a plan for providing a set of learning opportunities in order to achieve certain broad goals and objectives. To whom? It is for identifiable population. That is what the definition given with regard to curriculum as far as Saylor and Alexander is considered. So we can say that when they used administrative model of administrative approach to curriculum design, they had certain set plans with regard to lessons. Once we are implementing lessons in the classroom, they had certain features or certain terms with regard to lesson plan as far as Saylor and Alexander is considered. So once we are moving on to those terms, we can say that they always had a concern about the means to meet the end. The means to meet the end. That means what are the learning experiences? Means what are the approaches and what are the learning experiences that we used or that we are using in the classroom in order to meet the objectives or in order to satisfy the objectives. That should be taken with utmost care as far as Saylor and Alexander is considered. Also, the certain facts and figures which we are using in the curriculum also should be given attention. It should not be mere bluffing. There should be factual evidences. When we are using the figures or facts in the classroom, it should be with the proper evidence. That is also a concept given by them. Another one is that how activities and procedures flow from start to finish. There should be a logical sequence. There should be a logical order of activities from the beginning to the end. And certain maxims should be followed when you are using certain kind of activities in the lesson and also in the broader perspective in a curriculum. So according to them, these are the certain terms that we should consider with respect to evaluating the lesson plans. And also when we are moving on to the curriculum that is developed by Saylor and Alexander, they have used 4 steps which you could see in the slide. It is a 4 stages of curriculum development. And there is a logical flow of these all 4 steps. The first one is, of course, it is formulating the goals and objectives. We have to formulate the goals and objectives, or we have to frame the goals and objectives. After that, depending on the goals and objectives only, we can design the curriculum. And once the curriculum is designed properly, only then we could implement it. And after implementation, of course, there is a great need to evaluate it. So these are the 4 stages, or these are the 4 steps with respect to Saylor and Alexander model of curriculum, which is made through administrative model. So let's discuss about in detail these 4 steps. The first step, as I have already told you, that is to formulate goals and objectives. Curriculum design starts with goals and objectives. And we should be very much careful when we are setting the goals and objectives. We have to consider a lot of factors: the students, their environment, the culture, the tradition, the community, the locality. Everything should be considered, and also it should be in a futuristic perspective also. In future, our student should be benefiting from the outcomes. Likewise, we have to set the goals and objectives. Otherwise, after coming out of the course, after coming out completing the course, it won't be successful. They won't be successful in life because the curriculum may be outdated. So once we are setting the goals and objective, a futuristic perspective is very important when we are setting the goals and objective. In Saylor and Alexander model, they are giving importance to certain domains also when they are setting the curriculum, when they are setting the goals and objectives of the curriculum. The first one is personal development, development of the person. It includes the character, behavior, the personality as a human being, how you have to develop. And in the present scenario, when we are living in this technetronic world, of course, this factor is very important. That is the personal development. It is giving importance to human relations. We know that in this era of artificial intelligence, we are more communicating with technology. Our kids are also confined to a isolated room, and they are comfortable in that particular room. They are comfortable in their comfort zone. What is their comfort zone? They will be in a room which is having a bed, their mobile phone, and of course a charging point also on the wall. That is their comfort zone. So we forget to interact. We are missing those interactions. We are missing those cooperations, adjustments, collaboration. Those skills are getting depreciated among our younger generation. National Education Policy 2020 is giving much focus on this particular aspect. That is, we have to help the students to interact. That is why curriculum is art integrated, sports integrated, ICT integrated. So through arts, through craft, through activities, through sports, let them come together and let them communicate. So that is also human relations should be given much importance with respect to values, with respect to morality, and with respect to all other factors related to humanitarian consideration is also given importance in the Saylor and Alexander model. Apart from that, continued learning skills. Skills should be continued, and curriculum should be giving importance to skill development. We have understanding, of course it is good. We have knowledge, yes it is better. We should have skill in it, then only it will become the best part of the curriculum. So here curriculum should give importance to skill development also, and also specialization according to the aptitudes, according to the aspirations of the students. We can also give broad electives or broad specializations to the students. So these four domains are being stressed in setting the goals and objectives as far as Saylor and Alexander model is concerned. And also this step, that is the formulation of goals and objectives, that step is also influenced by certain external factors. These are the factors which we are giving consideration. When we are considering these factors, certain external forces are also being considered, that is research data, We have to research various data that is being available, and also we have to be in align with certain professional associations. Legal requirements also should be revisited, and also national and state guidelines also should be taken into consideration when we are setting the goals and objectives. So that is a brief explanation with regard to formulation of goals and objectives. Now moving on to the next step, that is creating curriculum designs. So we can say that when we are designing a curriculum, it is of course a broad framework, isn't it? And that broad framework is entirely, we can say that, I'm not saying that for more or less, it is entirely depending upon the goals and objectives. So, how effectively we have framed the goals and objectives, that much effective will be the designs of the curriculum. Because goals and objectives are the base, that is the foundation in designing the curriculum. When foundation is not strong, of course the design will be weak. So that is why the goals and objectives are completely helping us in order to create a broad framework of the curriculum, that is the design of the curriculum. And also subject design utilizing specific studies in the specified curriculum area. If you want to make specific curriculum for a specific subject, we need specific subject designs. We don't have one framework which is fitting for each and every subject. It should be separate, so that we will be getting good designs, or we will be getting better designs. And also when you are designing the curriculum, as far as Saylor and Alexander model is concerned, we have to give importance to necessary skills, knowledge, and also competency in the subject area. Let them acquire the knowledge, and also let them become competent in that particular field. That aspects also should be considered, because space should be there to show their competency. In English language education, it is not a content subject. English is a skill subject. Any language is a skill subject. You are teaching them prose and poetry, drama, fiction and everything, and you are asking question and answers. So of course you may be giving them some knowledge. But where is the skill development? Skill development is listening skill, speaking skill, reading skill and writing skill. If you are not giving chance for them to speak, will they develop the skill? No. Will they become competent? No. So we have to give them chance. We have to give them opportunities when you are designing the curriculum itself, chance and opportunities to speak, to listen, to read and to write. So that also should be taken into consideration as far as the Saylor and Alexander model is concerned. That is all about the second step. Now moving on to the third one, that is implementation. Once the design is being prepared, the next step, that is a task, that is implementation. Implementation requires the support of a lot of people, because all the stakeholders are involved in implementation, and of course it requires great infrastructure also. We need all the sophisticated infrastructure in order to get implemented the curriculum. So curriculum implementation includes decisions regarding instruction. In what way we have to give instruction to the students. Based on that, we are planning the implementation of the curriculum. Also, various teaching strategies are being included in the implementation process. It can be peer work, group work, it can be collaborative learning, problem solved learning, task based approach. So various teaching strategies are also being included at the time of are also being put into practice at the time of the implementation. Apart from that, we have to guide and also direct the students with regard to various learning opportunities. What are the instructions? What are the directions that we have to give to the students? That is also putting to practice at the time of implementation in order to get a better outcome. And next one, Saylor argues that curriculum planners, those who are planning the curriculum, they should see instruction and teaching as the summation of their efforts. Once we take the effort, then only this process of instruction and teaching will be complete in itself, and then only it will be better in itself. It is a collective effort through which we are giving instruction or we are giving teaching to the students. So whatever instructions that we are giving, whatever teaching that we are employing, it should be the summation of their efforts, summation of the efforts of the different stakeholders. So that is with respect to the third step, that is implementation. And the next one is evaluation procedures. Of course, when we are implementing a curriculum or when we have implemented a curriculum, our focus should be to check whether there are any problem or challenges that we are facing, and that is known as the evaluation. Evaluation is mainly based on to check whether we have reached the expected learning outcomes or whether we have satisfied the objectives. And Saylor and Alexander model is giving due representation to two important evaluation procedures, that is summative evaluation and also formative evaluation. Summative evaluation, after implementing the curriculum, after completely implementing the curriculum, after analyzing the curriculum, at the end we are making an evaluation. That is what known as the summative evaluation. And formative evaluation, in between while implementing the curriculum, we are checking or we are evaluating different aspects of the curriculum. That is what known as the formative evaluation. And also this evaluation is a feedback for the curriculum developers. Evaluation also should be done properly at proper time with effective tools. Otherwise, it will give some wrong feedback to the curriculum developers. So, care should be taken when we are evaluating at different stages of the curriculum implementation, because that is giving a feedback to the curriculum developers. And after receiving the feedback, the curriculum developers may think or may ponder on whether to continue with the curriculum, whether to modify the curriculum or to eliminate the curriculum plan. Certain parts can be eliminated, certain exclusion, inclusion, deletion, addition, omissions can also be done in the curriculum, because it is some flexibility is there once the draft is being prepared and once the tryout is being made. So accordingly they can make changes with regard to whether to continue, whether to modify or to eliminate the curriculum plan. And also getting systematic feedback from students. Students are playing the major role because they are the person or they are the one of the stakeholders who are directly involved in the curriculum, just like the teachers. So getting systematic feedback from students in each instructional situation, that is a major contribution of Saylor Alexander administrative model. Of course, that is a major contribution from their part, that take the feedback from the students in each instructional situation. So that is all about the four major steps in the Saylor and Alexander model. We have started from the setting of goals and objectives, designing the curriculum, implementing the curriculum, and finally the evaluation procedures. And next, when we are moving on to the significance of administrative model, various significance are there. It is deductive in nature, that is, it is moving from general or the broad concept, broad plan towards the specific items. That is why it is known as a deductive approach, and we have a linear plan. We have a linear movement from the beginning to the end, or from the beginning to the conclusion. There is a logical sequence. That is why we can say that the model is linear. Okay, and because it also follows a specific order or a specific series, there is no overlapping, there is no mugging up of things. It is starting from the goals, and by considering all the external factors, it is setting the goals and moving to the designing, implementation, and also the feedback. So there is no too much interferences in between. It is following a linear method in which a logical order is being maintained. Also, it is a prescriptive model. It is already being prescribed. It is already being prepared. We already discussed that there is a steering committee in which many experts are there. By taking into consideration of different factors, they prepare the curriculum. So, of course, it is a prescriptive model. Apart from that, it is also giving importance to the social and also the cultural context of the learners. That is also important. It is giving importance to the social and the cultural context of the learners. Every human being is a social animal, and we are completely involved in the culture and also the society, and there is a great influence of society and also culture in our language development, in our mental development, and also in our communication development, in each and every aspect. So that factors are also being considered in the administrative model. Of course, there are certain limitations. In the beginning, I have already told that every model, Saylor and Alexander model, Saylor and Alexander administrative model of curriculum, it is having its own uniqueness. Grassroots level model, that is also having its own uniqueness, but we cannot say that no model is only the best model. It has its own limitations also. But what kind of model we want to implement or we want to use in constructing the curriculum, that depends on our wisdom, what we need, what are the outputs that we require, and also we have to consider the different factors like students, teachers, infrastructure, economic feasibility, utility, and also even the environment. By considering all these factors, we can select a particular model and make the or construct the curriculum. So there is not much flexibility in the administrative model of curriculum. Too much flexibility is not there as compared to that of the grassroots model or grassroots design of the curriculum. And also we are giving overemphasis on the standardization. Just like I have already told you, we are coming up with the steering committee, advisory committee, and there are installation committee, production committee. So it is giving, and the pilot test, and then feedback, reviewing it. So too much emphasis is being given to standardization. So that may sometimes stifle the creativity and also the innovation in teaching. It can be taken as a limitation. Also, it neglect the individual differences. In the beginning itself, I have told you, since we are giving on to the experts, and since the administrators are preparing the curriculum, or the people at the higher level, they are preparing the curriculum, and it is for the general. In general, we are implementing the curriculum for all the students. So in that case, individual differences among the students, such as their different abilities, different interest, or different cultural background. Of course, it is considering cultural background, but different cultural background, different interest of the students, or different abilities sometimes may not be considered. So that can be considered as certain limitations of the Saylor and Alexander model or the administrative model of curriculum. So here I would like to conclude by saying that this is a kind of model which is highly standardized and which is giving due emphasis to each and every aspects of the curriculum development, and that can be beneficial for the students also. In this lecture, in a nutshell, I can say that we have come across the concept of grassroots level, the concept of administrative model, and how it is different from that of the grassroots level, also certain features of administrative model, and one of the type of administrative model, that is Saylor and Alexander model, with its different steps, significance, and also certain kind of limitations. Here are the certain references. Two major books are written by Saylor and Alexander itself, and I hope that you understood the concept very clear, and it must be certain thought provoking for you, so that you may think on this particular model while in future you are constructing the curriculum. Thank you so much and have a nice day.